Hello, hello. Welcome to Oracle Hour. My name is Sabrina Rising. I'm a spiritual teacher, a psychic medium, an intuitive healer, and it's my honor to channel spirit on your behalf. Welcome to our show. Welcome to our community. Thank you, all of you, for joining me live tonight. I can see we already have members in the chat. It's good to see you all. Thank you for being here. I'm going to take a moment to say hello. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Lovekin. Or Loveven, sorry. Hi, AC. Good to see you again. Hello. Amanda, hello, Soul Wondering. Good to see you. Hi, Sybil. Hi, Vicky. Good to see you all. Thank you for joining me live. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube, obviously, and we're live on LinkedIn. And now we are officially live on Instagram. Here we go. A second. Let's see. Are we live on Instagram? I don't know. There we go. All right. So for those of you that are not on YouTube, please come and join us at YouTube at Sabrina Rising and put your question in the chat. So I answer questions on a first come, first served basis, as you know, unless, of course, you're a community member. If you are a Inner Oracle community member, you get priority in the chat. I answer your question first. I offer you readings first. And then that's part of the benefit of being a member. We go a little bit deeper in our conversation. Of course, you get access to the Oracle Gathering, which is a gathering I do every month. The next one is coming up on January 30th. I believe it is January 30th. It's a 2-hour channeling event that I do in a closed Zoom environment. There is mediumship, there is a psychic channeling from your higher self, and guidance. And so we have an opportunity to interact on screen. There's the link to join my channel. You can come to the Oracle Gathering as a one-time occurrence if you want. I also, we accept participants to join one at each gathering, as they wish to come. If you don't want to be part of the membership. Okay, so that's optional. You can just purchase a one-time ticket, or you can join the membership and come every month. Okay, so you also get access to the Facebook community. I go live there on Tuesdays. I do some deeper coaching. We talk about personal development, more healing topics. In the Facebook community, we have a Lyriel that does the intuitive tarot on Fridays, which is a lovely offering. She does such a beautiful job. And you also have access to my members only content on YouTube, which is a whole spiritual library of healing workshops, courses, webinars that I've led over the years as a facilitator. Okay, so it's my honor to offer those to you if you choose to join. Regardless, stay for the whole broadcast. I say that because the messages, and I can already feel the energy, the momentum building. There's so much tension in the air, especially as we move into, there's 3 planets in Capricorn right now that are all moving into Aquarius. And so I can really feel that momentum, that shift into like just breaking out of old patterns and wanting something different, wanting something new, feeling like we want to shift into a new reality now. And that's a lot of the energy in the collective. So I'm going to channel these messages tonight for all of us. We're going to talk a little bit about how we know we're being led. How can we discern? Again, there's that word. And this is the key phrase for those of you that are developing your intuition, for those of you that are working on becoming healers or facilitators, even for your own personal practice. I mean, we need discernment. We need discernment to understand what serves our highest and best good, to make sound choices, to make choices that are in alignment with our family values, our spiritual values, the thing that really honor us. And so discernment is a topic I cover almost every week, because it really fits into everything that we talk about here. And so we're going to talk about how we know we're being led, how to not force messages and guidance, how to not attach yourself to an outcome, how to not, try to figure things out with your mind, which is, of course, all human beings do this, especially when we're really attached, or we can be very invested, or perhaps very triggered. Okay. This is when we go into our 3D awareness to try and figure out what's best for us, what to do, how to survive the situation. So learning to develop our intuition requires moving out of survival mode. It requires having a spiritual practice that will ground you, that will help you regulate your nervous system, that will allow a connection to inner peace that we all have access to under all these layers of fear and anxiety and whatever feeling it is that we are grappling with or struggling with, that is. And once we tap into that deep inner peace, we develop our discernment to be able to choose what serves our highest and best good. This is how we hear our guides, how we hear our loved ones in spirit, and how we access the higher realms in general. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. If, like I said, if your soul led you here, you're meant to be here. You're here for a reason. You're meant to receive this message. And even if I'm not interacting with you directly, try to listen to the messages for everyone as if they were for you. Okay, this is what I do when I join events like this. It's like, I'm here for a reason. There's something here for me. There's something that I'm supposed to connect with. And when we look at it from that perspective, every moment is an opportunity for growth and expansion and learning. Okay, and this is a beautiful way to live. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how we know that we're being led. Okay, so again, we have to learn to develop inner stillness in order to even hear the voice of our intuition, in order to hear our guides, in order to hear our loved ones and our higher self. Now, keep in mind that these messages are not coming from distinct entities or distinct expressions of source consciousness. They're all expressions of source consciousness. And so it can feel like a guide. It can feel like a loved one. It can feel like a spirit animal. It can feel like perhaps there's a clairaudient message or clairvoyant message. Again, it really depends on what you need in the moment that's going to get your attention, that's going to help you focus on whatever it is your soul needs in this current phase of your evolution so that you can grow and expand. Your higher self is always governing your experience. It's always guiding and directing and offering opportunities for you to choose love over fear. This is all we have available to us as human beings in 3D reality. We have love, we have personal love, which is attachment and bonding and can be a source of pain and suffering. All depends on your relationship to it. And then we have universal love, which is the love that we teach here, the meta love in terms of universal love, the feeling of unconditional love, the feeling of I'm choosing love because it feels good to me and because that's what I want to put out in the world. Okay, so this is the love that emerges from the self and is sustained by the self based on your choices. So this is the love that's available to us in our choices, or we can choose fear, which is ego, conditioning, limited beliefs, lack, scarcity, all of the stuff that we were raised in. And this is part of the human experience. We choose here as a soul to incarnate and have the experience of fear, learn fear, understand the contrast, understand what it's like to be disconnected from source consciousness so that we can feel the pain of that and choose to be reconnected to source consciousness. And this is part of the karmic evolution that we do. This is how we neutralize our past life karma. This is how we evolve as a soul. And this is how we leave this incarnation a little more enlightened, a little more liberated than when we first got here, and perhaps than any other lifetime we've had before. And we do this over and over again until we achieve full liberation. Okay. So again, and I'm giving you a big spiritual context, but for the right here, right now, how we know we're being led is we create this inner stillness. We learn to relax in our bodies. We learn to, use the breath to ground, to regulate our nervous system, and to quiet. We can't really quiet the mind, but we can be, and this is a big misconception. People think, oh, I don't know how to silence my mind. I struggle with meditating because my mind's always buzzing. It's always going. Meditation is about learning to be okay, to be equanimous, at peace with a mind that never stops. So what we're actually doing is creating a gap between your thinking and your awareness. Okay. Awareness is neutral. It's just observing what's happening, the thoughts that are rolling in, the feelings that are coming through, the sensations in the body, the emotions that are arising. It's just in silent observation, just watching and discerning what's yours to process and what's yours to listen to. How am I being guided in this moment? It's almost impossible to discern the difference between a fear-based reaction over an intuitive hit if you're not developing this awareness, this space to actually hear what your intuition is saying. Your higher self is always communicating. It's always offering information. In fact, we're saturated with it. Now it's just a matter of sifting through the information that's coming at me in 3D and actually listening to what feels good in my body, what feels like it resonates. Okay. So how do I know I'm being led? First of all, again, tuning into the sensations in the body. There could be a soul nudge. There could be a desire. There can be a pull. All of a sudden, something comes into your consciousness. It can pop into your mind. It could be a dream you had. All of a sudden, something you start thinking about more and more often. A repeated conversation that shows up in dialogue with your friends. Perhaps you're at an event and all of a sudden something shows up for you and it feels like, wow, this is meant for me. Like I can't. There's no such thing as coincidences. We talk about this all the time on the show, or random acts in the universe. There's no accidents. It's always intentional. The universe is always happening intentionally, just like you happened intentionally. You were born on purpose at the time that you were born, in the place that you were born, in the family that you were born into. And therefore, our lives are in continuation of that. Okay. So that means everything that you're experiencing is providing the most favorable conditions for you to continuously choose love or fear. It's up to you. You have free will. And this is how we use our free will. We either choose love, we choose unconditional love, or we choose fear-based consciousness. Okay, we can choose to have integrity or not have integrity. Again, it's just a matter of your context and how you want to frame it. But these are the choices that are available to us as humans. So how I'm being led is I tune into source. Through meditation, through mindfulness, through breath work, I can feel these nudges. And the more spaciousness I create within, the more available this intuition is for me. Okay, we can't access intuition if we're in a reactive state. I say this all the time. Please learn to regulate your nervous system and step out of survival mode. How you know that you're forcing guidance is you're trying to figure things out with your mind. You're perhaps afraid of what might happen, so you're grappling for some future outcome in order to ensure survival. If this is you, you're not listening to your intuition. You're actually using your mind to survive the moment, which is how most human beings live. Okay. I see this over and over again. We're trying to figure it out. We want to know what the map is, what's going to happen. Of course, I answer these questions all the time. What's going to happen for me? How's this going to turn out? How's this going to turn out? Am I going to be okay? Because we want to survive as a species. We have a need to know that we're going to be safe, connected, provided for, and ultimately have a sense of belonging. But we can create that with awareness. If we use our inner stillness, your meditation practice, mindfulness practice, whatever that looks like for you, to create this space within our awareness to be able to discern what's true, what's actually mine, and what's a reaction from the past versus a hit from the realm of infinite possibilities, then I have power. I have real power to navigate my life and navigate my experience. I go through this as a human being too in my everyday life choices. I was sort of scrolling around for an art class. I felt called to make art. And this is something I love to do in my spare time. And I was like kind of looking around at different opportunities, different classes and so on. And I was feeling into my body which one feels most aligned, which one am I having the stronger pull towards, not which one is more logistically feasible or more affordable or more. These are all like ruminations of the mind. Of course, these are factors too, perhaps depending on your circumstances. But beyond that, I'm looking to see what sensation in my body am I feeling into? What's my sign that this is the right place, right? And so just a quick story, and then I'll jump into readings. I know I'm going on long tonight. But so I was looking through all these different art schools, and I have a sketch that I made a year and a half ago. And I was looking at this one art school, and on their main page of the website of the course that I'm looking to take, there's the exact same sketch. It's literally the exact same drawing. This is a famous sort of a body of work from a French artist that I had sketched in a class I took, and someone else did it. Some other student did it and put it on the website, and it looks like carbon copy. It was like the same drawing I had just seen. I was like, okay, this is where I'm meant to go, right? This is my sign. This is my hit. Like I felt the draw in my body, but this was like, I needed more. And you can do that when you're sitting in your own practice. You can ask spirit, like, make it obvious, make it really, really obvious for me where I'm supposed to go, what is going to serve my highest and best good. Guidance doesn't look like the whole map. It just looks like the next step. It looks like, this is the next right choice to make that might lead you to the next right choice and the next right choice and the next right choice. It's an organic unfolding. And so for me, that was a huge confirmation. Of course, I laughed out loud because spirit does that. And I love when spirit does that. And sometimes I need it to be obvious. And it's okay if you do too. That's how we know we're being led. We relax, we allow, we absorb information, we contemplate without attachment. We create that by creating that inner stillness. If you have that inner stillness muscle, that awareness muscle that I'm talking about developed, or you're developing it on a daily basis with your practice, it's easy to sort of detach from the outcome and sort of embrace the information and go, okay, what do I feel most drawn to at this time? What serves my highest and best good? If you're in a reactive state, if you're feeling triggered, if you're in survival mode, and notice if you are, and you can be in survival mode in 1 minute and, neutral and equanimous in the next, right? So it's not like it's just a one state that you can be in, right? So just notice where your energy's at when you're contemplating these questions, and do the work to ground and regulate your nervous system so you can have access to pure discernment. And that discernment will give you clarity in terms of what the next right choice is. We can only choose in the moment. You can't choose the next year of your life or the next 10 years of your life. You can have a vision for what you would like your life to look like, or what you would like your life to feel like, is what I would advise you to choose. How do I want to feel? And then allow the energy of that feeling to magnetize the evidence of what that actually looks like in tangible reality in your everyday life. Okay. This is how we know we're being led. Of course, there's so many different ways to look at this, to have this conversation, so many different perspectives. But of course, we're going to jump into being led here tonight in our readings. If you have any questions about the topic, if you have any concerns about how to make a choice or how to discern intuition from fear and so on, please feel free to put it in the chat. I would love to hear from you. And we're going to jump in and say hello. I love it when you say hi to each other. Hi, everybody. Hi, Jolie. I see you now. Hi, Heidi. Good to have you here tonight. And Heidi, yeah, we need more of your question. Thank you, Diane. All right, we have Diane here tonight moderating for us. And Diane will take the first question. So beautiful. Thank you. Aw, thank you, Sarah. It's good to see you here. I appreciate you being here, and I love that you enjoy the topic. So, okay, who is first for reading? Jolie says, I love the Oracle Gathering. Aw, me too. I love it here. It's literally my favorite place to be on Wednesday night. Okay, who do we have here? Jenna. Hi, Jenna. And Jenna says, hi, Sabrina. Question for my guides. What am I guided to do of the highest good? Okay. So this should be a personal mantra, okay? Not just for me in terms of this show. Of course, I'm going to channel for you in a moment. But I love the way you're framing this question, because it should be our personal mantra. When we wake up, for those of us that have a spiritual practice or that are looking to tune into higher consciousness, this is a wonderful intention to have, like to sit with. What is the guidance for my highest and best good? What am I guided to do? Sometimes we're not really guided to do anything. Sometimes we're simply guided to be, to allow, to receive, to grieve, to heal, to rest, to replenish, to restore. We're so conditioned as a society, and Jenna, this is true for you too, where it's like, I have to be doing something, right? I must be productive. I must be performing in some way. I must be creating some kind of outcome. I have to have something to show for it. This is very common in our everyday vernacular. We have all these expressions that really point to how we view ourselves as a species, and how we see ourselves worthy or unworthy of love or happiness or peace or whatever it is that you deeply desire. So I'm saying this in part in general for everybody, but also in part to you, Jenna, because there's always like this feeling of like, what am I supposed to do? What should I do like next? And the reason I bring it up is because when I tune into your field right now, there really isn't anything for you to do specifically. In fact, I feel like you're already doing the things, like you're already set a lot of things in physical motion. In 3D, there's really not another thing for you to take action on at this time. Energetically and from a heart space perspective, I would say that there is an opportunity to expand and learn how to receive more. Asking for help is really important for you. Asking for support, asking for space, setting up maybe some better boundaries with the person that you live with, the person that you share a home with. There's a yeah, I want you to ease up on yourself. okay, and not put so much pressure on what there is for you to accomplish. What serves your highest and best good right now is to actually close this chapter of your life and do it with ease and contemplation and reflection and gratitude. Okay. I know there's been some suffering, especially this past year, the 2025. And so spirit wants you to kind of put the final stitches on this portion of your life, sew it up and suture it and let it heal and start to put the past behind you. Okay, so one thing that I do see as far as physical actions is the traveling that I know that you're doing. So there is a trip coming, and it's going to be good. There's going to be a little bit of hiccups, a little bumps along the road, as far as logistics are concerned, but all is well. Okay, and don't be afraid to revisit certain places. And I feel like you're going to Europe. And correct me if I'm wrong. If you are, great. But this is a long haul trip, and it feels like there's many stops, and it also feels like it's going to open up some deep reflection, moments of pause and reflection. You're at a phase in your life, Jenna, where you really need to like slow down and savor the moment and appreciate the moment and feel grateful. Okay. I feel like your health is good. Physical health is good. Like I'm not getting any hits there. You could use more rest. And obviously you can use more meditation. I think we can all use more meditation. So I will leave you with that. I want you to focus less on what you're doing and less pushing yourself, and more on allowing and giving yourself permission to receive. You're still healing. Okay. You're in a really tender spot. So try to do less and feel more. Okay. That's my message for you. She says, I'm going to my conference in Phoenix, the big trip, then big trip to Chile. Okay, good. Beautiful. Thank you for validating that. So the conference to Phoenix, I feel like is going to, this is going to be good. You're going to meet like-minded people. You're going to meet people that you can connect with, that you have things in common with, that you can share. It's actually going to allow you to grieve more or process more what you've been feeling and going through. I feel like you make friends here in this conference. Like there's people who see you, who get you. There's an opportunity to connect with like-minded people, which is going to be good. And she says Europe is down the road to Portugal. Good, beautiful. So I see this traveling, which is great. This is going to be enjoy, slow down and savor. Okay. And enjoy, and just make sure if you're traveling towards the middle of 2026 that you check all of your itineraries, double check everything, make sure everything is, there isn't like, it feels like there can be some miscommunication or delays and things like that. Okay. That's my message for you tonight. Thank you for being here tonight, Jenna. It's good to see you. Beautiful. Who's next? Hi, Loveven. Loveven says, hi, Sabrina and community. Good to have you here. Question, what spirit guides are around and guiding me? What am I not seeing clearly about my current situation that spirit wants me to know? Okay. So I see a crow. Blackbird, looks like a crow, big blackbird, and crows, multiple crows, either showing up around your home or in the area. That's the first thing I see. And it's interesting because to me, crow is sacred law. That's the medicine of the crow, is bringing justice, order, law, and observing. And it can be that there's there might be some legal stuff, or just looking at the fine print, like making sure you're doing things according to the letter of the law. Okay, this is symbolic, so I'll let you fill in the gaps. So the first thing I feel when I tune into your energy is like doing things according that have integrity, so restoring integrity to your day-to-day, making sure you maintain integrity in your agreements. Okay. The thing, it's interesting that you're asked the question in this way, like, what am I not seeing? I guess that is the question, right? Because we want to know what's in the unseen. We want to know what we don't know, what we don't have access to. But there is an energy around like, what's going on behind my back, at the same time. Like when you're asked the question, that's what I feel. It's like, what's happening behind me, or what am I not, it feels like something's being hidden from me, and I want you to trust your intuition there, because I feel like you're not in the whatever it is you're grappling with in your day-to-day relationships. I feel like in one of them in particular, you're not getting the whole story. Okay. So I would ask very direct questions. I would advocate for transparency in your relationships by being transparent, by being forthcoming. There are things that you need to own and take responsibility for that will create the environment for better communication between you and it feels like your partner. And also your mom. There's an older woman in this scene as well. There's like a mom energy. I'm not sure if it's your mom or his mom, but there's like a maternal presence around as well. Like there's kind of like some family dialogue going on, maybe even some triangulation, which is why I feel like there's something going on behind you. Okay. So I want you to pay attention to that and really notice, like, where do I feel stuck in my body? Where do I need clarity? And start asking direct questions, start being very honest and transparent about what it is that you're feeling so that you can get the clarity it is that you need in your current relationships. Okay. The guides, we'll go back to guides. We saw the crow that was here. Again, this is the grandma energy, is one of your guides, the grandma in spirit. And what else am I seeing here? So I don't know how familiar you are with deities and symbols and so on, but I want you to Google Hecate. She's kind of like the goddess of the underworld. She's like a bridge between worlds. She's often depicted with dogs. She's like, she's like goddess of the night, if you will. But there's something, I feel her presence when I tune into you. And I think she's trying to, part of the reason why I feel like she's here as one of your guides, or something that you can use in your personal practice, keeping in mind that guides change depending on the phase of your evolution, whatever you're in. Okay. So if you're at a point in your life where you feel like you're in the dark and you feel like there's stuff going on behind your back, or you're not sure what's really happening, you want to call upon whomever can shine light in the darkness. Okay. So that's kind of the symbolism that I'm feeling here as I tune into you, really using her power to bring light to, or illuminate some of the darker corners of your day to day so that you can really see what's going on. Okay. That's my message for you tonight, Loveven. And if you're asking for readings, please be here to validate. Come back and let me know if that was accurate for you. Okay. It just makes for a better channeling experience and all around better for everybody. So Loveven, if you can come back and let us know if that resonated for you, or you can always leave a comment at the end. Okay. Beautiful. Who's next? Hi, Heidi. Heidi says, hi, Sabrina. I'm currently seeking a new job for advancement/money purposes. I've been in the same job for 22 years and not sure if I could stick to the same field in a different role, if I should stick to the same field in a different role or venture out. Okay. So this is perfect. It's on topic in terms of discernment, right? You're not sure. So look, I'll give you my psychic hit, and of course, I'll give you my spiritual guidance. I always ask the what should I do, what's happening questions in two ways. I always answer them with both these perspectives. So my first hit is that if it was up to you, I think you'd venture out, right? I think you're ready for change. And I think there's a part of you that wants something different. If you're really honest with yourself, like there is the desire to expand and do something fresh and different and change the energy of your environment, which I highly recommend. I think your soul really needs this. Okay. And I feel like it will open up some opportunity for you as well. Change generally does that, especially when we embrace it wholeheartedly. There's something outside of your day-to-day or your usual that I feel like you're being called to. Okay. And it's a good thing. Right. So I don't know if you do office work, administrative work, or some type of work that involves a lot of documents and papers and so on. I'm not entirely sure exactly what you do. Maybe it's insurance or some type of work that it feels like your heart needs something a bit more creative. Like it wants to express itself in a more creative way. Okay. So my direct answer to your question is, the experience you've had in your field for 22 years is easily translatable to a different industry. It's just a matter of curating that. I'm a paralegal. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. There is a big desire for change. Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you for validating. That's all the documents and stuff that I'm seeing. So, yeah, you're ready to step out. Like step out and do something more fun, do something more creative, do something that requires more like interpersonal skills, even like just, there's also something significant about moving out of the energy of like, plaintiff and respondent and petitioner and, like just like moving out of like litigious environments, if you will, and stepping into a more community based effort to bring good into this world, whether that's through art or music or joy or pleasure or something more creative is calling you. Okay. Again, the skills that you've developed are easily translatable to a different industry. And I think it's time for you to shift. Okay. In fact, I actually feel like it'll be easy for you to pivot. There are some, like even if you want to, she says, that sounds so spot on. Okay, good. Beautiful. I feel like even if you wanted to move into like a more of a HR type of role or like supportive type of role, something like that would be good. I don't want you to be afraid of money. And this is the wrong reason to move, to switch jobs or to take a job. I know that we all live in 3D reality. And of course, that can feel like a real thing. But the more we participate in the idea of taking a job just to pay bills so that we can survive, the more we are perpetuating survival mode and the more difficult it is to actually live a life that's in alignment with your spirit, with your soul, with your calling. Okay. We all have one. Everybody has one. Okay. So again, I want you to move more in a more community-based supportive role. There are positions out there. It feels like it's an easy pivot. And then there's some creative stuff you can do part-time, like on the side as a hobby, things like that. Okay. Spirit wants you to be more creative now. It's time for you to have more fun in your day-to-day. All right, Heidi, that's my message for you tonight. Thank you for being here and thank you for validating. Good. Beautiful. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. It did resonate with me. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate you validating. And again, go back and listen. Heidi says, thank you for this, Sabrina. You're welcome. You're welcome. Mwah. I love you guys. So listen, I just want you to like really sink it. This, I'm talking to Loveven, really let it sink in and really feel into what I shared tonight. And if you have any questions, you can always come back and leave a comment at the end of the video. Okay. All right, who is next? Jenna says, I would love to see if you offer an in-person meeting with like-minded people like your retreat. I love this request. The plan is for my husband, Bo Bowker, which you all know, a breathwork guide facilitator, also intuitive guide. We do events together. We just did an event called Spirit Messages and Soul Healing, which is a psychic breathwork event. It's our fourth time doing it. We are contemplating an in-person retreat sometime in the summer of 2026. So Jenna, you'll be the first to know. If you're on my email list, if you're not, please get on there. Go to my website, Sabrina the Oracle, and subscribe to our email list. And you'll receive all of the news about what's coming. You'll get a discount on services as well if you want to book a one-to-one reading. So if you're on Jenna, I know that you're on my email list. You will be the first to know. Okay. Thank you. And thank you for the nudge. I appreciate it. All right. Any more questions for tonight? Let's see. Hi, AC. Good to see you. AC says, any messages from my guides about where to turn my focus to next? I'm settling in now that my immigration stuff is done. Okay, good. Beautiful. So it's interesting, every time I feel into you, there's always movement. So, I think that you're relocating. And it's interesting because, you're saying you're settling in. I think your nervous system is settling in. We're talking about relaxing and feeling safe in our bodies and feeling rooted and anchored and feeling like, okay, I'm here. I've got my immigration status taken care of. I'm here for a while. I'm staying put. Now you can sort of relax and take a good look at where you want to be. Okay. What draws you close? What speaks to you? What resonates for you? I feel for you, AC, there's a lot of focus on where to work, getting the right job, getting the right career, or at least getting your foot in the door. I feel like any job you do now, it may not be long term, but it will be sort of a jumping off point for the next thing that you're going to create. There is a move, but it's not that far from where your family is. Okay. So you're not going far, far away from wherever your family members are, or at least it can be biological family or soul family. But it does feel like a move for work. And it also feels like there's an opportunity for education as well. So you're developing yourself. In 2026 is the year one for you. It's a year of change, a year of new beginnings, a year of, for all of us, it's a year of new beginnings. But for you in particular, those new beginnings are focused in the realm of career development and higher education. Okay. So those are the two things I really want you to focus on. She says, good, I want to move. Okay, good. And spirit knows that. Your higher self knows that you don't want to be where you are. You've kind of been like laying low and sticking to what feels safe and comfortable and accessible. But it's now that you've gotten your green card, feels like your immigration status is done and taken care of, you can take a deep breath and go, what do I really want? What do I want to create? Right? Which is a good place to be. This is a good place to be. And this is exactly what we're talking about at the beginning of the broadcast. We're talking about not being in a reactive state, not being anxious and stressed and tight. When we're tight, we can't hear spirit. We can't feel into our intuition. It's impossible to understand where you're being led to, where your soul guidance is if we're contracted, right? We have to regulate the nervous system, ground, breathe. I feel like I've said nervous system like at least a dozen times in this broadcast tonight. I apologize. I'll try and find a different way to contextualize it. But that's the work is literally grounding and moving out of survival mode and relaxing so that we can now feel into what do I deeply desire, and you can create the outcome that you want, because we are the source of everything we deeply desire. It's coming from you. It's not coming from outside of you. There isn't like, what's out there for me. It's what do you want to create? What do you want to generate for yourself that you can magnetize to yourself by holding the frequency, right? This is the work that needs to be done. So for you, the move is imminent because you're unhappy where you are. Your soul feels more confident. There's a sense of I can have what I want, like things are working out for me. So I want you to ride this momentum. And the relocation is not so far, but it's in a better spot for more career opportunity. And there's going to be an opportunity to go back to school or learn more. It actually feels like it's tech-based, computer-based, logistic, like that kind of work, where you're learning something that will, it feels like it upgrades your resume, if you will. Okay. That's my message for you tonight, AC. Again, keep focusing on how you want to feel and just relaxing and trusting that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and then allowing spirit to guide you. Okay. Don't try to find the thing with your mind. This is what we've been talking about all night. Don't try to figure it out with your brain. Try to relax and just let it come in the form of guidance. And guidance can seem like a conversation you're having. It can come through a message, an ad, all of a sudden you see something on television, or you see something in your social media feed, or you hear something in a show, or, you have a conversation with a friend. Pay attention to the guidance that you're receiving and how it feels in your body. Okay. And then come back and let us know how that unfolds for you. The move is coming soon. AC says, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Beautiful. Who's next? Hi, Soul Wandering. Soul Wandering says, hello, I'm back. Sending gratitude for all the messages and guidance. Okay. Let me see what I have for you tonight. It's interesting. I don't really do mediumship on the show typically because of the environment. I prefer to do it over Zoom, but I do feel like there's a grandmother here, and it's a maternal energy, and she's kind of wrapping you up in something and saying like, you're okay. Like, I want you to know that you're okay. I want you to know that you're safe and protected. There's part of you that needs to know this, like on a deep soul level, that you're safe and protected, and that You always find a way, and I want you to really acknowledge this in yourself. You always find a way to land on your feet. And I don't know if you know this about yourself. So wondering, like you always find a way to get your needs met. And there's a beautiful resilience and courage in you that you don't give enough credit to. I don't feel like you don't acknowledge that enough about yourself. Like there's such a tendency to be overly critical and overly cautious about where you put your energy, and this idea and perhaps a belief that there's something broken or something wrong with you. And it's this grandmother energy is kind of showing up and saying, you know, she's putting this white shawl around you, and it's almost like it looks like something she either made or buys. Very antique shawl. She's putting the shawl around you saying like you're blessed, and she's kind of kissing you on the forehead saying you're blessed, and you're being guided, and so you listen to the guidance. I feel you already have a lot of tools that you're using, and I want you to not get caught up in the healing part or the use of the tools, but actually use the tools to get to know yourself. Okay. So there's a kind of a reframe there. Sometimes we can uh, get caught up in signs and symbols and messages and readings and tools and all this stuff because we're looking to create a shift in us, or we're looking to change ourselves. And this spirit guide that's here for you is saying there's nothing to change. It's a matter of you moving into meeting yourself with radical, unconditional love and acceptance. When you meet yourself as you are with radical, unconditional love and acceptance, something shifts. It's kind of like there's a moment in your journey that's coming, that's like imminent, where you're just gonna have this aha moment. You're like, oh my God, this has been here all along, right? It's like all the thing I was looking for was here inside me the whole time. There's a beautiful moment of like awareness around that. And it feels like it's coming soon. It feels like it's around. There's something about also I feeling travel for you as well. So there's moving to different locations, or going to a place. Maybe you're traveling with your family. I don't know. So there's something about, I'm seeing like it's either the desert or sand, and there's an awareness that like clicks into place for you where you're just like, oh yeah, this is it. Like this is all there is, and it's beautiful, and it really is. It's about anchoring in and turning your awareness, your attention inward, and developing that gratitude. Okay. That's what I feel for you tonight, and it's really beautiful. I feel like it's very soft and very like, calling you to rest and reflect and restore rather than fix and do and take on and learn and try to do. It's a bit very similar to Jenna's message, like there's nothing to do right now. It's just a matter of being and allowing and absorbing, moving, kind of transcending the layers that you have built up within you that obstruct the flow of love and universal life force energy. Okay. She says, yes, Maui with my husband for breathwork. Beautiful. That's awesome. I love that you're doing that. She says, oh, thank you, Sabrina. I was here for the universal message. I feel blessed. Oh, okay, good. Beautiful. Beautiful. You are blessed, definitely. And I would love to know if you have a grandmother in spirit that you are connected to, or perhaps an ancestor that's coming through for you. And you can journal about that. You can connect with that in your journaling process to see if there's any more guidance for you. Everything you say is very aligned. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you for being here, Sarah. I appreciate you. Okay. Who's next? Sending you love. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Sabrina. She says, I was wondering if your guides had any messages for me, particularly with direction. Thank you. Okay, good. Let's see what I have for you in direction. Yeah. So it's interesting because when I tune into your energy, I feel like, I don't know if it's like fashion and art or artist, like design, interior design, maybe like, there's something about aesthetics and making things beautiful, whether it's on yourself or in your environment. But that's the whole realm that your soul really feels like it's leaning towards, or it wants that, enjoys that. And I feel like, you're kind of stuck in this 3D conversation about like, how can I, what can I do to survive? Instead of saying like, what's the thing that really calls to me? What's the thing that really brings me joy and calls my soul? Okay. So yeah, it's almost like there's a part of you that already knows what you want, but you're not letting yourself go for it. You're just not letting yourself move forward in this direction. And you just need, it's almost like you just need a little nudge from me or spirit through me to say, hey, it's time to pursue this. It's time to do the thing that you have been dreaming about or thinking about or wondering about. And there's a part of you that's like, I don't know if I can do this, if I have the right stuff, if I can, if it's going to be sustainable, is this going to work out? Like there's a lot of doubt and rumination. But there's a reason why, and I say this for you and I say this for everybody, when your soul is tapping you on the shoulder and saying, hey, like, there's a desire here for something. There's a desire to accomplish something, to achieve something, to lean into something. That's important information. This is not just your imagination. It's not just a daydream or a nice to have. She says, this is really true. I feel like I'm holding back a lot in my heart. Yeah. I mean, you're creative. You're a creative, artistic person. And you are not letting yourself be fully self-expressed. You're trying to fit in a mold that doesn't belong to you. It's an outdated system, and the system is trying to push you out, and it's doing that for a lot of people at this stage. I just got chills when I said that, so I know that's spirit talking. Especially with all of the, we talked about at the beginning, all the planets moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius. It's like everybody's being pushed out of a system that no longer fits, right? Where we feel constricted. We feel like I'm in the same cycle, or, I'm doing the same thing, different day. It's your time is up. And then there's a part of you that's just like, you're all for the resistance. Like, let's get out of here. Let's push out of this routine that doesn't align with me anymore. And I want you to follow that. And I say this to everybody, like, if you believe, your belief system influences every cell in your body. If you believe that you're going to have opportunity, that you're going to be provided for, that things are going to work out for you, that everything always works out for your highest and best good, and you fully believe that with every cell in your body, you're going to manifest the evidence of that. She said, everything you said really gave me chills too. Okay, good. Beautiful. I love that we're getting chills together. That's awesome. So I want you to like really sit with that. Like, it's just time. It's time to like pull the plug on stuff that no longer aligns with you. Most of the time, especially in this type of environment where we do readings and channeling and mediumship and connections and so on, it's about what's going to happen in the future, what's going to happen next, we want to know if it's something better is coming down the line, because this moment doesn't feel satisfying, right? It doesn't feel peaceful. It doesn't feel joyful. So my invitation to all of you is, how can we make this moment feel more joyful and feel more fulfilling and feel more aligned? And we can do that by going inward and really being honest with ourselves about what we deeply desire, what we really want, how we want to feel, and then giving ourselves permission to have it. That's the key to manifesting. Is most of the time we feel like we can't have what we want, or it's not possible for us. Okay. So I want you to really sit with that vision, because I see you making art. I see you doing something. Again, maybe check out interior design or fashion. Of course, I don't want to tell you what to do, but it feels like something in that realm of expressing yourself artistically will give you a sense of alignment, right? A sense of like, I'm doing the thing that really brings me joy. I do this job. I come in and do these broadcasts, and I do readings, and I do coaching, and I do all kinds of, offerings to help people heal. And I feel so blessed that I get to do this. And I also know, and this is something you don't see when you watch me live, is all the inner work that I had to do to get here, to be able to do this, right? To be able to give myself permission to express myself in this way and provide for my family while doing it, right? So this is something that anybody can achieve if they are 100% willing to step into alignment with what they deeply desire and willing to do the work required to make this a reality. Okay. And that requires belief system, changing your belief system. It requires inner work. It requires believing in yourself, and it requires trusting that you're being guided. Spirit is leading us, as just like we talked about at the beginning of the show. Spirit is always guiding us, nudging us to follow what we're here to accomplish on a soul level. Okay, every one of us has a unique gift, and that's true for you too, Amanda. And you're here to express that gift, and we don't have peace in our bodies until we're fully expressing it. Okay, so something to look at for everybody. Good, beautiful. Thank you for being here, Amanda. Okay, who else is next? Hi, Diana's smiling in the background. All right, Jolie. Hi, Jolie. Jolie says, hi, Sabrina. I know there are some changes coming. Yes. Can you feel into how soon I can expect them? Hoping life levels out soon. Okay, good. Okay. So we're talking about being soul led, and we're talking about alignment, inner alignment. And the inner alignment is what collapses a timeline. So when I hear a question about when is this going to happen, or how soon will this happen, or when can I expect this, what I'm hearing is that you're futurizing your contentment. I'm hearing that there is a desire for things to happen faster, okay? Which means you're not being present in the right here, right now. The moment is asking something of you. All right. And this is true for you on a psychic level too. It's not just spiritual guidance I'm giving you. This moment is asking something of you. There's something you need to cut off, cut ties with, stop doing, like abruptly, in order for things to shift quickly. Okay. So again, that inner adjustment, whether it's a belief, a pattern, a destructive behavior, something you're engaging in that needs to stop abruptly so that you can have a quick shift into the next timeline of your life, into this alternate reality that's happening simultaneously. Honestly, it's not like there's the future, it's all happening now. And so we can talk about that some other time. But for now, in terms of answering your question, there's something that you need to stop abruptly and do now and take responsibility for, and this will shift things. And when you say, I hope things level out soon, they will, the circumstances are matching your energy. So how quickly can you level out? How quickly can you center yourself, take responsibility for your well-being, and learn how to really just commit to what you can commit to, and untangle yourself from agreements that don't feel aligned. Okay. Jolie says, yes, there's now and future now. Yes, exactly. So, the now is going to predict the future. Now is predicting your next moment always. So when we look at okay, what's going to happen next, of course we can always, we can look at this from an astrological perspective. We can look at this from a psychic perspective, an energetic perspective, what energy am I working with in the collective? What's happening in the collective? This is all helpful information to navigate or course correct for some of us. She says that makes sense, more inner work. Yeah. So it's always inner work. We have to do the inner work. The inner work is what's going to create the circumstances. All right. But for you, the things that need to level out require, again, moving. This is the third move I predict tonight. So moving, relocating, downsizing, simplifying, decluttering, getting, the chaos that's happening internally is also happening externally. Start cleaning things out physically, and you'll start to see more space within. Start cleaning things out within, and you'll start to see more space, more capacity without. Everything reflects everything. This is very important for you. There is something that you need to make a decision on that you haven't decided yet. And Spirit's coming in really firm and strong for you tonight. Decide, choose, and the whole world will follow you. Will meet you there. The universe will meet you at that choice point of providing for you and affirming that you've made the right choice. Okay. That's what I want to say to you. Okay. So don't ever be in a position, we're not victims. Okay. Don't ever be in a position of what's going to happen? I hope something good happens soon. You have power. You have the power to think, to believe, to feel, to embody, to practice, to cultivate the energy that you want to magnetize into your life. So if you feel like you're trying things in a 3D level and they're just not working out, they're not in the flow, it's because you're not in the flow. There's an inner chaos that needs to be addressed and leveled out and aligned so that you can now be on a trajectory of things organically unfolding in a flowful fashion for you. And that's the work that needs to be done here. Jolie says, yes, I have a storage that I have been holding on to with some of my old furniture, ready to get rid of it. Beautiful. Perfect example of what we're talking about tonight. Start cleaning things out. Start letting go. The things that it's amazing how much like everything reflects everything. Like it really does. Look at your life. Look at the thing in the corner that is unattended to, or the pile of papers that you're not addressing, or, all of the unopened envelopes in the mail, all the things that are just accumulating. This is energetic debris. Where there's debris, there's density. Where there's density, there's a lack of flow. There's a lack of intuition. There's a lack of movement. Okay. So that's for you, Jolie, and it's also for everybody. If you're feeling stuck and stagnant, start moving things around, in your life, start clearing things out. Sometimes it's easier to clean your closet than it is to sit down and have a good cry, but both are equally effective. There's something that needs to be released. And I would do both if I were you. Okay. That's my message for you tonight, Jolie. Beautiful. Okay. Awesome. Okay. I think that's all the questions we have. Yeah, Diane. I think we got everybody tonight. Do we have more? Okay, let's take one more and then we'll say goodnight. Just because I love what I do. Sunshine and Beauty says, what guidance do you have for my love life and the Leo man I was talking to? I like this Leo. I like the Leo. I got an immediate yes. I actually felt happy when I read your question. So there's like an immediate like leaning in and a yes and a, pace this, but I feel like this person is very animated, very like he's very like, what's the word I want to say? He's like the life of the party, he's a lot of fun. He's very gregarious, a little flirty, attractive. I feel like this is a good energy. This feels very pleasant. It feels like it's moving a bit fast, but I also think part of you enjoys that, so again, just pace yourself. I feel like this is a good thing moving forward. Okay. I like this energy. Of course, always use your own discernment. Okay. So, use your own judgment, your own discernment, feel into your body and make sure that you're moving at a pace that resonates for you, that feels safe and comfortable for you. Okay. This is the guidance I have for your love life in general. I think that you really want to manifest a partner. Like there's a deep desire to create partnership, to be in relationship with someone. And what I want to say to you is that whatever partnership you create, whether it's Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, whoever you're dating, is going to mirror back to you all the places that you love yourself and all the places that you don't love yourself. That's what relationship is for. So if you can enter into sacred partnership with this perspective in place, knowing that this is going to mirror back to me the places where I'm insecure, where I lack confidence, where I don't love myself, where I'm needy, where I'm externalizing my need for validation and self-worth, the relationship will show you that. Okay. And I feel like this Leo guy kind of comes in hot and strong. It starts off really strong and then it tapers out a little bit. And this is the tripwire. This is a pattern for you. Okay. So I want you to focus on loving yourself all the way through so that you can create a cadence and getting to know this person and dating this person that feels manageable. It doesn't feel like a high and a low, like a high and then a crash, essentially. That's the advice I have for you. Okay. But I do like his energy and I feel like he will slow down if you need him to. I feel like he's charming. I feel like he's very into you. And I feel like this is a good energy in general. Okay. But again, use your own discernment and always gauge how it feels in your body as you move forward with this person. Okay. And keeping in mind that relationship is a mirror. It's not a measure of fulfillment. It's not a means to fulfilling yourself. It is a mirror to how you can meet your own needs. Okay. How it's going to show you how you need to be able to step into your own self-love more. Okay. So I will leave you with that. All right. Sunshine and beauty. Beautiful. Oh, hi, Jonathan. Just for the record, Leo men are the best, said by a Leo man. Aw. Oh, Sabrina's the best. You are my favorite Leo man. Jonathan, thank you for being here. Mwah. Good to see you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. It's always wonderful to channel for you. I feel privileged and honored to tune into all of your stories, the intimacy of whatever it is that you're struggling with, grappling with in your life. Thank you for trusting me with guidance, with messages. Please go back and watch your portion of the show so that you can really feel the reading and tune into the messages and feel them with your whole heart. Take time to integrate, take notes, journal, come back and leave comments at the end of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And tell all your friends that we're back every Wednesday and Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll be back this Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. If you didn't get your question answered, if you can't wait that long, feel free to book a reading with me. The one-to-one readings are available on my new website, Sabrina the Oracle. Go check it out. I'm very excited about this website. We launched it a couple of weeks ago, and it just speaks to all the things that I do. So have a look there, and I will see you all on Sunday at 5 p.m. All my love.